Yo, what up, yo? See, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. That's what's up. Just the intro music, you know, it. Always like it the vibes, right? Yeah, 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 yeah. What Adobe. So look, good afternoon, good afternoon. Appreciate y'all being here. Uh, peace, world. Assalamu alaikum. It's the first thing I'm gonna say. Another song about to start up soon. Hold on, let me pause it. Let me pause it. It's that kind of day. It's a motivation kind of day. So, if you live with me again, I appreciate it. It's Daquan Lawrence. You know where I'm at, streaming for Washington, D.C. Um, doctoral candidate at the Howard University, also known as the Mecca. And I am beginning year 6 of my PhD journey at, again, the Mecca, Howard University, HU, you know. So, what I've been doing, I think, for the last at least 4 to 5 years is trying to hold on, let me make sure. All right, yeah, trying to share my dissertation in the process of making my dissertation, which again is focused on international public policy, specifically in South Africa. I'm sharing that with the public, just to take people behind the scenes, behind the curtains, for people who might be interested in graduate school, for people who might not be interested in graduate school, who don't really care about it, or particularly youth students, HBCU students, people worldwide, and especially the people in South Africa that I am doing this research, I believe, for, particularly all of people all over the world, but especially in South Africa. Again, my name is Daquan Lawrence, originally from Harlem, New York, and my interest, or excuse me, my experience um, growing up in urban poverty in Harlem, New York, influenced my mind and my interest in international public policy. So when I was young, I had this goal or I created this goal of, I guess the goal found me of being able to work for United Nations, and that's still my goal. But in order to do that, I believe that I should become, as credentialed as I could be. Never necessarily wanted to get my doctorate. However, because I'm now here, again, I might as well make the most out of the situation, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's pretty much the background information about me. Um, Went to the Morgan State University in Baltimore, Maryland. Then I obtained my master's in Washington, D.C. at the Johns Hopkins School of Advanced International Studies, also known as SICE. And then upon becoming a parent and a father, the biggest blessing of my life, I decided to continue my studies and my education at Howard University, only because I live so close to Howard University, and because, again, as a HBCU student and as a Harlem or New York native, Howard has always kind of, I guess, been on my radar in some shape, form, or fashion, or some capacity. So, with that being said, I have a couple of things I want to show. Some of these things are virtual. Some of these things I actually have the handouts. Like, this is my physical copy of my dissertation proposal. I also have my research questions. I also have my IRB packet and my consent form that I had to create in order to start my research. So again, this is, like I said, just taking you behind the curtains, behind the scenes. I'm just letting you know, again, what I guess it consists of to make a dissertation, or the steps that it might take, pretty much um, to obtain one at a graduate school or school of higher education. So let me see, what am I showing, which window? I would like to show this window. HPD, excuse me, I say HPD, PhD study pack. There we go. I got dyslexia real quick. So PhD study pack, as you can see. So let me just make this a little bit bigger so y'all we could rock out. All right. So at the top, this I think can be adapted for people working on their master's, a thesis or a dissertation. Excuse me, a master's would be a thesis, and a dissertation is for doctoral students. So me being a doctoral student, again, this is what I will use for my dissertation. I don't have to use this. This is just something, again, I was given, that I came across. So you see at the top, we have the literature review. That means whatever you read in order to conduct, your study, background information, context, historical information, anything that you read that you were going to put in your dissertation, mention or cite, that consists of your literature review. Then you have your research question. What is the purpose of your dissertation or your study? What are you trying to accomplish? There goes your objectives. What are you trying to accomplish? Your methods or methodology. That's the process. Are you going to use surveys? Are you going to use interviews? What kind of interviews are you going to do? How are you going to obtain participants in your study? Again, depending on what your study is, does it involve animals? Does it involve humans? Does it involve, different specimens or chemicals? Again, depending on what you're researching, your objectives and your methods, may change or vary. And there are many methods in research, both qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative meaning describing things or using words or coming up with narratives to describe information, and quantitative mean using, some people I guess would say number. Words can also be data, but using numerical data to display and show trends, to show findings, or to show whatever it is that you're studying, whatever the outcomes may be. That directly leads us into data. So talking about, again, both the qualitative and quantitative methods, whichever you use, that will produce data, and you will file your data. This is the process that I am now in. Since I have now conducted or started my study, I'm now doing the data collection process. So I'm just checking these just to show you where I'm at. And then after I collect my data, after I continue to go back and forth to South Africa, I will start analyzing my data. So hopefully that's what I will begin. Actually, I have some data that I've collected already, so I'm kind of in that process now as well. So let me just put these here, kind of doing it out of order. I believe there's 12. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, there are 12 boxes to denote a year or calendar year. So this first check is for January, February, March, April, May, and so on. However you want to start, or you can have this as December, January, February, March, however you want to align your calendar. but there are 12 months in a year for you. So once you start writing, then this is again a tracker, a pretty good tool to keep track of your process. I have already began planning, so I can click these, all of these. I have 5 chapters in my dissertation, so I'm going to keep this, standard. And I'm now starting my drafts, so I'm not going to check these yet, but this is where I am starting. Let's put for chapter 1 background. Actually, let me really go to my proposal and see. So yeah, chapter 1 is my introduction, theoretical framework, and methodology. The way I organize mine is this way. Everybody does theirs different. So I'm doing intro, theoretical framework, and methodology. And then for chapter 2, I have background on South Africa race and class. All right. My computer, bear with me, my fault, y'all. It's going a little slow. All right, background. I got a lot of apps open. I need to close those in my tabs. Background on South Africa, race, and class. Chapter 3, does racial hierarchy still influence class and racist influence? My section is unstable. No, don't damn me. You what y'all talking about? Race influence and essay. All right, and then my 4th chapter is going to be how is the middle class constructed? So I'm going to put middle class and essay. And then my last chapter is going to be the conclusions, implications, and future research. All right, so that's how I'm organizing mine. So this is, again, I'm just going to use this, stop sharing now. I'm just showing that for the sake of, I don't want this to be too long. And I'm going to get back to this. I'm going to be using this as I keep doing this, and I add, to these videos, to the series, to this playlist, if that makes sense. I'm still trying to get my side straight. I don't know which side of the camera I'm looking at. Yeah, so again, the purpose of my research, the name and the title of, excuse me for not mentioning it at the top of the video, is Urban Class Structure in Post-Apartheid South Africa. So pretty much I'm looking at Johannesburg and Pretoria, 2 cities in the Gauteng province of South Africa. And I'm trying to see, again, since the fall of apartheid, which formally ended in 1994, with the, we could say, election installment, depending on who you are, of Nelson Mandela, who was the first president of African descent in the nation. Since then, there have been 7 presidential administrations, and a lot has changed within the country. However, a lot remains the same. So I'm going to be continuing, again, to showcase my findings, putting them online. You can follow me on Instagram at DR for Dr. Daquan Lawrence. So again, on Instagram, that's at Dr. Daquan Lawrence, doctor with a DR. But I was TikTok at Doc Daquan, so at DOC DAQUAN. On Twitter or X, just at Daquan Lawrence. Most of my stuff is just pretty straight. And then as you see again here on YouTube, at Dr. Daquan or Daquan Lawrence. I like to use my name. My name is my name. I like to be who I am. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing, and I'm gonna keep doing this. I will be going live in different places and different locations. So this is just the first one, but I really, like I said, I want to take you behind the scenes and just show you the process as a sense of motivation and encouragement. Letting you know that, again, if you want to do something like this, you can do it. If you have somebody in your family, or if you know somebody, have a mentee, anybody that, is interested in accomplishing any goal. It don't got to be, getting a PhD. It really don't even got to be that. But I'm just doing this, again, for the sake of, I guess, historical records, or for, our people. Once again, Daquan Lawrence, thank y'all for rocking with me, and have a blessed day.